There are a lot of people talking about Gina Haspel, that is President Trump's nominee for CIA director, and specifically talking about her history with interrogation methods, including waterboarding.
After 9/11, when we did waterboard, she was an advocate of this.
Right. So,
and it's coming home to roost.
While a lot of people are talking about it, Tim Kennedy, former UFC star, decided he was going to do more than talk about it. He was actually going to do a demonstration. Now, to say that Tim is also
a Navy SEAL.
Yes. No, not Navy.
Green
Army.
Beret.
Oh, Green Beret. I'm
Forces.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes. So he wanted to try this out himself. Now, I don't know if he's done this before, but he volunteered himself to have his friends waterboard him to experience this because he believes it's not torture. So take a look at his experiment.
But just the whole, because it was like a tech Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah. Just the geeks win.
Yeah, Tim's description of this experience, he says, actually, I was very confused by this because as I was reading his description, it sounded like it was awful. And then at the end, he said, but it's not that bad. It's not torture. He said that you can't prepare for, you can't hold your breath because the water then goes down through your sinuses and it goes in through your eyes as well. And then it all pulls up in the back of your throat. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Water pooling up in the back of your throat. But he said he didn't think it was torture.
Yeah, look, he said that this went on anywhere from like 10 to a whole minute that they were pouring that water over a 41-minute period. So this wasn't like a one-time deal here.
And then he had no idea when they were going to, like, they would stop, and then he had no idea when they were going to do it again.
Yeah, but he knew that this was going to stop, as opposed to not stopping.
You can make the argument that when you're in, captivity somewhere, you don't know if they're actually going to drown you. They're going to kill you. Obviously, Tim Kennedy knew his friends weren't going to let him drown. But the point is, he didn't know when it was coming. I think he tried to create a realistic experience, and I think his point was this is not torture.
He didn't create a realistic experience because his friends in the background are talking about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Right.
So
yeah, that was really weird.
So then.
Well, the realistic.
The torturous part of all this is the conversations that happen in the background.
A realistic
The
experience.
point that is torturous. No, the point that is torturous is the feeling that you're drowning, and Tim Kennedy would have had that feeling.
Neither one of us really know what was torture. But
you got to take him at his word that it wasn't the worst experience ever.
Let me talk. I'll let you talk. So creating a realistic experience would be putting a shroud over his head, dragging them somewhere where it's dark, where it's dank, where you don't know who you're talking to. You may not even really understand what's happening, and then putting them through this so that the rest of your senses are all up and you completely have no clue what's going to happen to you one moment to the next. I understand what he's trying to do, but to actually make torture seem like it's in some way excusable.
Yeah, but hold on. Van, that does assume the conclusion. The issue is it torture?
Right.
And there's a division on this, and he's saying no.
There's not much of a division on whether or not it's torture.
No, there absolutely is, Van. That's exactly what Tim Kennedy is saying.
Whether or not we should be doing it.
Wait, is whether or not we should be doing the practice. It's definitely.
But if the practice doesn't hurt people and it's not that bad,
it does hurt them.
But that's his whole point, though. That's what
it must hurt them. That's why someone would start talking.
Right. So my point for Tim Kennedy, if it didn't bother Tim Kennedy, I'm sure there are people who've actually been waterboarded that it didn't bother them. And kudos to them. That doesn't mean that it's not torture.
Right.
It doesn't because it didn't bother Tim Kennedy, because he's doing it once again. He's voluntarily doing it with his friends in a controlled environment. I don't understand how that.
But this all goes back around to Gina Haspel then. And people saying because there might have been waterboarding under her tutelage at some black site somewhere that she should not be CIA director. So
well, here's the thing.
If it's not torture.
In that case, to that specific case, if you're an American and we've decided that we don't torture people, which is the standard that we've holding ourselves to, and then we have someone who is doing that, then yeah, they should be held accountable for that.
Yeah, but look, this also, she did this right after 9/11. This was a different time than today. 9/11 really shocked this country to its core.
But we should, but we're a country of rules and laws and standards, and we shouldn't let anyone.
This country has gone. There's not a straight line that this country goes.
Well, there has been a straight line that we have actually over and over again gone to was that we weren't going to torture people.
But it
And we
depends.
discussed
The
it.
mindset of this country was very different around 9/11. I had a friend who died in the World Trade Center. The mindset of Americans was very different.
I
during
get it,
that time.
but and condolences for your friends who died, but we shouldn't shred our way of life based upon enemy concerns. If that's the case, then none of it means anything.
Right, but again, it assumes the conclusion, and you know, there's a debate over whether it is or not. And you know, Gina Haspel didn't back down from what she did back in 2001.
I mean, if she did it, she shouldn't have to run from it. But the reality is that and everyone wants to, when we set a standard in this country and a standard for our life and for our society, then we should stick to that, because we're doing it for the good of who we are and the good of the world. And it seems like it's a little cowardly to me to like start tearing that up the moment that we're put under the gun. Nah, man. Like if we don't torture people, then we don't torture people.
Hi, I'm Corey Dillon in St. Pete, Florida. And you know how you can't tickle yourself? I don't think you can actually torture yourself either. I mean, it really comes down to inflicting pain. That's what torture really is. And it looks like they set up a scenario so perfectly that he went to a barbecue afterwards, or he was at a barbecue. I mean, you know, is this pain? Is he in pain? No. Is he also a trained professional to withstand these kinds of things? He is.